So maybe you're a bit like me and you're excited for Euro 2020, and despite it coming a year late, you want to play it in Football Manager. Well, today we're going to show you how to do just that. There is a custom database made by Mozza. This has all the correct teams in the correct groups. For whatever reason, this isn't the case in the regular Football Manager database. You have to use this file in order to get it. Today, I'm going to be showing you how you can take on Euro 2020, managing any of the 32 teams taking part. Let's get into this. So to start things off today, there are a few files linked at the top of the description. One of these is a custom database file. This was created by Mozza. He is the person who did all the groundwork with this database to make it possible. Due to licensing reasons, Football Manager are not able to have all the real Euro 2020 groups. This file essentially ensures that no matter what save game you're playing, all the correct groups are always drawn after the first season that you play through. As well, down in the description, there is going to be a link to a game setup file. This file is basically a preset, which I'll show you how to use in game in just a moment. And it allows you to load up all the leagues of all the nations competing in Euro 2020 this year. And the third and final file is a file that is in May 2021, where I have already holidayed through an entire season, and the day that the squads have to be submitted for the Euros, you can just load up a save file, add a new manager, and add them to any team that you would like to manage for the tournament. So if you're not planning a grand, long-scale save game, that might be the option for you. Anyway, here we are in game, and to kick things off with these three files that I mentioned that you've downloaded, there's a few different possibilities that you're going to need to do here. First things first, you need to move whichever the files you've downloaded to your Sports Interactive folder. This is the default location in Windows that you can see me highlighting here, my username, of course, being Jack. You may have a few extra files than these, you may have a few less. As I said, there are three separate files. The first is Mozza's database. If you want to use this, it needs to go in the Football Manager Editor Data folder. There is a game setup file called Euro 2020 Setup. If you would like to use that, as I said, it's a preset that loads in all the leagues. That needs to go in the game setup folder. And then we also have a save game called Euro 2020 Squad Date. If you just want to be able to load up a save game the day that you submit teams, you just need to have that file. It's worth noting that on Mac, this folder location is going to be slightly different. Down in the description, I will have the exact locations it can be for Mac. Depending on the version of iOS X that you're running, the location can just vary slightly, so do be aware of that. So once you've downloaded any of those three files, put them in the folders. If you've not already got those folders existing, create them. We are ready to hop into Football Manager and start the process. So in order to load a save game, this is going to blow your mind. You go to load game, then you would just load Euro 2020 squad date from the get kind of save games folder. If I just show you how this works, you can see here, it will prompt you immediately to create a manager. You're then just going to go to national teams, senior national team, and you can pick any team. If we just pick England for this example, I'm not going to bother with my manager attributes. You'll see here that the save game starts on May 23rd. And if we just pull up the calendar here, you can see here that you have to announce your squad for the Euros on this day. I have left the in-game editor enabled just because I've holidayed through an entire season, but of course injuries and players available might be slightly different in this save game to they are in real life. So if there's a footballer you desperately want to use and in this save game he happens to be injured, you could obviously remove his injury. Anyway, once you hit continue a couple of times with this save game loaded, you will notice that we get to a kind of squad announcement screen. You can see here that the database also has the recent Euros rule that was added, where the squads are now teams of 26 rather than 23 as well. So little bits of attention to detail like that the current game doesn't have. But Jack, I hear you ask, I don't want to add myself as a manager in May. I want to have the full year before the Euros to prepare. It's completely fair. Or maybe you're just starting a new save game and you would like the Euros to be accurate for that save game. You know, despite the fact you're only managing a club. Well, in order to make sure that's active, you're going to need to start a new career. On the 21.4.0 update dropdown, you're going to click it, and then you're going to make sure that the Euro 2020 by Mozza file is active. If you've got other custom databases, make sure that, you know, you have the one selected that you want. But of course, this file here will appear on this screen, assuming the file is in the correct folder. Of course, that folder location linked down below. You're then going to hit confirm and then go to advanced setup. And as I mentioned, there is also going to be a game setup file, which I'm providing for this. That needs to go in the game setup folder, which we showed previously. And if you've done that correctly, you can just go to load here, select Euro 2020 setup. And this setup essentially loads every single nation that's competing in the Euros and all their domestic leagues, as well as all players of European kind of national team quality who play for the international teams. So if you want to have a super detailed sim prior to the Euros, you can do that. It is worth noting that North Macedonia are the only nation not playable in Football Manager who are at the Euros, and as a result, there are 31 kind of different countries with leagues loaded rather than 32. I'm sorry, North Macedonia. Football Manager, please fix. Anyway, once you've done that, you're just going to start a new save game, and it may take a little while to set up because of all the different leagues. But once you've done all of this, you will have a new save game ready to go. And when it gets to the time that the Euros are drawn, which is a few months into the season, the Euros will, exactly replicate real life with all the correct groups. The other cool thing about this is it has all the correct dates. The final will be on the date it is in real life. All the different group stage games happen on the correct day. The one thing that this database doesn't have yet, and I think Mozza is trying to make it work, is it so that all the different matches take place at the correct stadiums. For whatever reason, Football Manager doesn't like it when you try and change the stadiums that you play in. So just a little thing to be aware of there. So once the game is all set up, you can obviously add a manager. You could immediately add yourself as a national team manager, or if you wanted to do what I did previously, where I holidayed forward. Also, not sure why I've made myself Albania manager, because Albania aren't at the Euros, everyone. But if you got to this point here, you can save the game. I'm sorry, Albania, you were just top of the list. But you can then go to home, go on holiday, and then you can select a custom date in the future. As I said, I believe the date is May 23rd, 2021. That is the date that the squads will be announced. Of course, the other cool thing with this database is you could possibly do it as a network game with a couple of friends, which I think would be kind of a cool approach. And of course, the save game and the database is all entirely playable beyond the Euros, but of course, there isn't any additional effects that the database adds in terms of changing anything that happens. This is strictly a database that just changes the Euros. So to round off this video, I have gone forward and holidayed the entire of the Euros, just so you can see how it all looks. And congratulations to Poland. You won the final a couple of days ago against Italy. 2-1 in the final. Lewandowski, I imagine, carrying pretty hard. If we just look at all the stages, just to show the proof is in the pudding, or in the group stages. Here we have all the different group stages for the Euros, all entirely accurate, as they are in real life going into the competition that starts in a little under a month's time. Yes, sorry, Portugal. You've finished behind Hungary there. It's not ideal. Anyway, gang, that is going to wrap up this video from me today. I hope you have enjoyed it. Make sure to check out the database and the creator down below. If you've enjoyed this video, smash a like on it, share it with some friends. Maybe they would be interested in starting a save game like this one. If you know of any other cool Football Manager projects like this that I should share with the community, let me know them down in the comments. And well, until next time, it is me, Jack. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.